Ready? Are you ready, happy dog? Look how excited you are. You're a bump on a log. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston with a Problem. We're doing a special Sunday night show. I'm in my civvies. No fancy shirt for a Sunday night. I was mowing lawns and crap today. I'm not fancy shirting it. So I hope everyone's doing well. I am jacked up. We're waiting on some important documents to drop. So what has transpired since Friday is we've learned they've dropped an S3 that's basically said, the shares are all canceled, blah, blah, blah. All the shares that we had ready to do a share offering for, those are canceled as well. Got a little monkey button there. And then they reveal that there's 73 subsidiaries. They've got subsidiaries for like particular states or cities that might represent stores that they still have leases for, or, brands they had incorporated it previously. I don't know, but they're like Butterfly, 23 Delaware, things like that. Also, what's important is on the 21st, they did a name change for Bed Bath & Beyond to, 2023 0930 DK Butterfly 1. Filed that on the 21st of September. This weekend, they reincorporated the company in Delaware. Now, there's an important aspect for that. As we talked about the NOLs, the net operating losses, in order for you to benefit from the net operating losses as a creditor, you have to accept equity in the company. Basically say, all right, I wipe away all the debt you owe me. I will take ownership of your company. Cool. That's the securitized debt. You can do that. But IRS tax law states that if you are going to benefit from those NOLs and net operating losses, which can be gigantic, you have to allow at least 50% of the equity in the company to remain with the original shareholders. There's a problem. In New York, you can only own up to 20% of a publicly traded company if it's registered in New York. You can't own any more than that. It's illegal. So they had to re-register in Delaware because the ownership can be of any amount by a single entity. That way, when the creditors take over, they can own more than 20% of the company and up to 50% of the company. Okay. Next weird little thing is in Canadian business school and in high finance, there's a thing called a butterfly corporation. It is when you have a corporation that has multiple entities, subsidiaries, maybe they've got different departments, and you want to take that company and you want to just split it in half, like Abraham's baby, right? And what you can do for the shareholders is you can split that company in different parts and give one share of both halves to the shareholders, or split in 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, etc. So the distribution that may come might not just be, say, a 1-for-1 of Butterfly 1. It might be a 1-for-1 of Butterfly 1, and you get another share into a separate entity, Butterfly Chimichanga. I don't know. So we could be looking at a QSIP change, a name change, a distribution, and possibly another distribution on top of that. If that happens, shorts are so effed in the A. I mean, just looking at the comments from Friday's show, I banned, I want to say 100 accounts since Friday. I haven't had shills popping into my streams since MMTLP was going last winter. The shills have not been around in my streams since then. They are all over it. So I've had to bring out the ban hammer and just bing, flick those. I don't know if people criticize stuff or whatever, but if like the first time you ever been to my show is like, you guys are such idiots for listening to this guy, you're gone. If you've been around for a long time and you call me an idiot, okay. But if you're just showing up and your one comment you ever made on my stream is that I'm an idiot, well, you don't get to watch my stream anymore. Bye-bye. So in the shills are on Reddit, Twitter. They are in full force. And what's funny is, at least on Reddit, because I'm not on Twitter anymore, they're reading the same script. So they'll say something that's absurd and not at all what fits with the law, whether it's about NOLs, mergers, share distributions, cancellation of shares, whatever. They'll say something that to somebody who has never read a book in their life will go, oh, bummer, that sucks. But if you challenge them on it, all of a sudden they're like, well, I'll bet you $10,000 that there won't be a distribution. And I'm like, how, like put your money where your mouth is. I'm like, put your mouth where my dick is. Jesus. So then they're like, oh, are you scared? Oh, you know, I'll give you 10-to-1 odds. So for $10,000, you can win $100,000. We'll put it in like an escrow account. And then all I have to do, because it's happened all weekend long. They said the same thing. I bet you $10,000. 25 different shills on Reddit. So all I have to do is tell them, like, all right, post face and your real name as your Reddit account. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Well, why not? I've got my face and name on my Reddit account. Like, you scared? You're going to get doxxed. Not if you post your face and real name, because then everyone will know who you are. You won't be doxxed. And then they just disappear after that. So if you're ever one of those shills who are like trying to make some stupid bet with you, they're never going to pay you any money. They're a bunch of like dudes in a bot farm or something, or a troll house in like the Philippines or Montenegro or something. It's so much. You can pay $10,000 to a bot farm and they will have 50 chat GPT bots in there saying the same crap with the same like whatevers. You just ask them like, hey, post your face and real name, and they just disappear because they never will, because A, they're not real, or B, they know that they're full of shit. So here we are. We're sitting, waiting, chilling, speculating. So 1 sec, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Off. Daytime off. Daytime 2 off. After dark 2 off. Off. Not gonna give me this time, Satan. Okay, so what we're looking for, and it may come before open tomorrow. So, keep your eyes peeled at like 3:30 in the morning Pacific time, or I guess 6:30 in the morning, wherever you are on the East Coast. Keep your eyes peeled on the SEC site. Search in Edgar for butterfly, DK1 butterfly, whatever. We're going to look for an S1. That should say if there's a share distribution, how many shares there are, what they're going to do. Possibly another S3 if they're going to be authorizing more shares or giving some to executives or whatever. And looking for a financial report. A 10K or a 10Q. Probably a 10K, since the 10Q is like the yearly one. So something along those lines. Now, some folks reported that they talked to brokers at Fidelity this weekend, and the brokers basically said that they fully expect it to start trading again, the OTC. The SEC has it listed as OTC and not expert market. So we may see it trading tomorrow. It might still be under the BBBY ticker. They may drop the Q on it, but it may be BBYQ, maybe BBBY. I guess we'll find out in the morning. I will do a show after close tomorrow, and then I'll be on the PP show 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, to just kind of see what's gone on through the day and chit chat and I don't know, high five, headbutt, whatever it is we're doing. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. What's on your minds? It's Sunday. We're speculating. Throw me your best speculations. And, it's probably going to be a pretty, butterfly intensive shows for the next week or two, as documents get dropped. And I'm fully like, I know this is all speculation that anything could happen, but I personally am expecting, hey, fat cat, I'm personally expecting a distribution to happen. That they're going to distribute shares to us, because if they want to use those NOLs, they have to give us 50% equity in this butterfly company. If you guys don't know about NOLs, net operating losses, Now, let's say, I'm pulling this number on my butt. Let's say there's $3 billion in losses, right? And you are someone who bought, these bonds, these securitized bonds for pennies on the dollar, 5 cents on the dollar, 1 cent on the dollar, whatever. You bought a boatload of these bonds, and you own $1.5 billion in debt on a company, but the company's lost $3 billion in bankruptcy. You want to, you're not going to get paid cash. They got nothing. They don't have cash to pay you. So you go, all right, well, I'll take equity in the company and I will use it as a SPAC. I will renew the company, whatever. You agree to take equity in the company. Now, the other 50% of ownership has to be the original shareholders. That's their compensation for hanging tough. And as the company moves on, doing whatever it is they're doing, as long as business continues and they do business, you can use those NOLs. Now, the NOLs can knock off up to 80% of your yearly revenue as losses, so you don't pay taxes on it. So let's say you make $1 billion profit, right? You can write off 800 million of it if you got more than that in NOLs. And then you just delete the 800 million from the 3 billion that those NOLs are worth. So you're down to 2.2 billion. The next year, you make another billion, you can write off another 800 million. So now you're down to 1.4 billion, right? And the next year you can write off another 800 million and so on. And you can use those until it's all up, it's all gone. But you can only use 80% of your revenue can you write off, or your profits can you write off. So it can go on for years. There was someone posted something, it was an oil company that gone bankrupt. I don't know, like 2011. I forget its name. It's like Whiting Oil or something. And they had $5 billion in NOLs. And it's been 12 years and they're still using them. So like they have not paid taxes in like 12 years because those NOLs have lasted that long. So they're worth a lot of money, net operating losses. A lot of the shills that you'll encounter, they'll try to like sew that down your head. Like the company has been dissolved. It doesn't exist anymore. Fuck you, dude. It just changed its name. It still exists. It's no longer in liquidation. It's not a liquidation trust anymore. The state of New York said, no longer in liquidation. The liquidation part is over. That's over. The creditors agreed to take equity in return of deleting all that debt. So now it's a company that has no debt, has got billions of dollars in tax write-offs right off the bat for anything they want to do. And they're good to go. So, every time you see a shill post something negative, you can just slap them around. You don't need to be nice to them at all. Like people are like, oh, just ignore them. No, be mean. Be absolutely cruel to them. Belittle them. Make them feel small. Call them dorkwad dweebles. Freakazoids, morons, shit stains, dipshits, whatever you want to call them. Do it. There is no harm in that. You can call them whatever name you want in the book because that's what they are. Belittle them, smack them around, have some fun with it. Don't buy into it. One guy who was being a shill last night, he's like, you're gonna lose all your money. I'm like, so what? Okay, I'll lose all my money. What then? I'm like, look, I have $3,000 invested. I've got in excess of 10,000 shares. I'm good to go. I lose it. I got tax write-off. I win it. Well, then you're broke and I own an island. Cool. Like if you win, you can buy a Toyota Camry, a used one that's like 20 years old. That's what you get for shorting that stock at 10 cents. And the guy was like, well, actually, I'm just really poor. And then why are you even in this thread, man? And he's like, I just like, I have nothing to do. I haven't had a job in a year. And I'm like, bud, for a quarter, you can buy 3 of these shares. And he's like, you can? Like, yeah, 7 cents. It's like, well, what's it trading on? I'm like, right now, last it was on Moo and then Schwab if you called your broker. Might be on everything tomorrow. And he's like, well, maybe I'll see if I can get into this. Like this guy was a shill all of a sudden. He was like, well, maybe I'll see if I can get some. So, that's good times all around. Okay, let's see what you guys got. Hoshi, Houston, what can I expect from BBYQ now? Please explain it to me as if I was a 5-year-old or a golden retriever. Haha. All right. We're expecting some sort of filing with the SEC about distribution. Maybe they'll skip us entirely and distribute it to a bunch of space aliens. I don't know. But if the creditor is going to utilize the NOLs Expect distribution to the creditors, expect distribution to the shareholders. I don't know what ratio it's going to be, but from the number of shares, 901 million shares makes me think it'll probably be about a 1-for-1 for everyone. Now, will that come this morning? Will it come sometime this week? You got me. I think the time schedule would have been totally messed up if the government had shut down. Thankfully, we got like a 45-day stay of execution on that one. We're just waiting for that filing talking about distribution, what the effective date is, if they're going to request to go back to the NASDAQ, things like that. It should give us some details. Are they going to distribute shares for one company, for two companies, for 27 companies? I don't know. A lot of people are speculating that at least one of the distributions is going to be a digital crypto stock or a coin or something. Again, we've been speculating this for 2.5 years that something was going to go become a digital coin stock blockchain. So, take that with a grain of salt. But Bed Bath & Beyond did put it in one of their reporting documents during bankruptcy that, they have this electronic digital coin thing. It's kind of nebulous. Didn't quite describe what it was. So a lot of people are throwing the mud on the wall of stick, and they're thinking, oh yeah, some distribution is going to be digital. So if we have that, then we've got name change, CUSIP change, distribution, and a crypto that'll come out that's unfungible, which means everything has to be closed. Absolutely everything. If every single solitary short position has to be closed, infinity pool, baby. That's where it's going. It is going to explode. One of those things where you start thinking about, how you're getting out, right? You see it spike, and you'll be like, oh shit, it's $40. Holy crap, I'm up like thousands of percent. That's a lot of money. And then it's like $100. Like, oh shit, I'm retirement money. And then it's going to like 250, 500, whatever. There are so many people that have so many shares that want to fucking ruin these hedge funds. There are folks in DRS who are like, all my ones in DRS are never going to sell. They're just going to sit there. I have zero plans of ever selling those shares. I'll just sell the few that I have in Fidelity, and that's going to be good enough for me. There's a bunch of people also that are in the process of sending their shares over to DRS and may never make it in time, right? So if your shares are in transit on the way over to DRS, and it takes 2 weeks to do it, you may miss your entire opportunity. They may just be stuck in limbo the whole time. You have to remember also, if this becomes something where the creditors are getting equity, they're insiders all of a sudden. They can't sell. So at least half the float is locked up, right? Or half the issued shares are locked up, plus whatever they issued to new, board members and whatnot. So I have no doubt that this thing is shorted hundreds of percent, especially naked shorted. Cost to borrow fees were 350% yesterday, and tens of thousands of shares were borrowed on a Saturday when the shares are supposedly canceled. We got people that are reporting that are on margin accounts and are reporting that they're still getting their daily interest payments from the shares that are borrowed. So these shorts are still on the hook for it all. And yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be a crazy week, dude. I need to throw my Citadel's Burning shirt back in the laundry again so I can wear it again when all this explodes. Man, I'm on cloud 9, guys. I'm zen. I'm cool. Monkey's cool. We're cool, I say. Okay. Hoshi also first. Don't you feel a little scared? Like, I've seen them pull the same shit twice and not trying to spread FUD. Just want to know how you can feel the same and how to manage the feels. Because I think in this case, other times we've had potential squeezes. The company that was being squeezed was not prepared for what FINRA or the SEC would do or what the brokers would do. This time around, I think they may, the language of their S1 or whatever gets filed may be in such a way that's like, hey, This distribution cannot happen unless all short shares are closed. And if they're not closed by this date, you're fucked, right? If you lent out shares, you sold naked, you are going to be fucked. It might not say that exactly, but it'll say it in legal sense. Like, there may be trouble and irreparable harm may happen to their hedge funds or their collateral positions or whatever. So I'm just waiting to see what curious things they've got going. Here's my feeling is Ryan Cohen bought in almost 10% equity, 9.8% or whatever it was, in Bed Bath & Beyond winter last year, January last year, right? And he wrote the letter to the board. He's like, hey, I'm not taking 10%, I'm not insider, but there's a few things you can do to make your company better. I'm going to try and get a couple of my bros onto your board. And the board was like, you can't. And they didn't want that, but they begrudgingly took his members on the board. Now, what he was hoping was the company would split off Baby or sell it to him or make it a shareholder subsidiary, something like that. And they kind of fucked him. They did a share buyback of just enough to make him an insider. And he was like, I purposely was not trying to be an insider. And so he sold his shares. He did sell a lot of them, but it looks like he also may have put them into a weird trust. I can't remember the name of it. If you guys remind me, there's a way, if you're an insider, you can sort of give your shares as collateral and take cash. And therefore, they're not your shares anymore, even though they're still kind of like a little tendril that connects to it. And you're no longer an insider as a result. I think he then went to 6th Street and was like, all right, nuclear option. These fuckers don't want to play. They're going to do it our way. We're going to use my money through 6th Street as a proxy to give them a loan, a collateralized loan, and we're going to buy up whatever collateralized debt they have left. And these fuckers are destroying their company. They're going to go bankrupt, and we're going to take it in bankruptcy. And that's when we started seeing, last fall, last winter, little posts about butterflies, books coming out with butterflies on the spine, things like that. And I personally feel that Ryan Cohen has quite possibly a very large portion of the collateralized debt of this company. He'll be getting a big old piece of it. And, he had a plan A and he had a plan B. And they didn't go with plan A. So he's like, well, the gloves come off. Plan B. And that's what they went for. And that's where we are. So yeah, that's kind of, so anyway, how do you manage your feels? That's the big question. I know that the shills are scared, or at least their bosses are scared. And that's why they're so active right now. They're super active. And that is as big a sign as any. If they had won, they wouldn't be paying these dudes to be on these boards to spout shit all day long. They're like, we won. You're out. You're over. Instead, what they want us to do is they want us to be scared, think it's over. When it's shared, when it opens for trading tomorrow or something, we go, oh, maybe I can get 7 cents for it, and then we sell. And they go, that's what they want. They want to crash it, but it's over. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. Right? Again, this is speculation on my part. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. But from what I can see, I think this is going to be something talked about in finance and business schools from here on out. What a checkmate play this is. It was probably thought about 3 years ago. that Ryan Cohen probably had this all together 3 years ago, and he was like, all right, we're playing the long game. And that's where we are. So chill. You see me relaxed, you can be relaxed too. That's all you have to do. If you see me panicked, then things really have gotten wrong. But no, I'm cool as a cucumber, baby. Meow meow. Butterfly reminds me, what happened to butterflies? I saw so many when I was a kid, and now it's like they're gone. We spray pesticide everywhere and destroyed all their milkweed, and yeah, they're gone. A lot of them are. Yep. I mean, they're around every once in a while, but not like, I mean, I used to see monarchs constantly. I don't know if I saw a single monarch this summer. That's what I should do is plant some milkweed around the property. Maybe some monarchs will show up. Mark Tran, Houston. What are your thoughts on folding ideas? David Olson video on the ape movement titled, "This is Financial Advice." I have not seen it, Mark Tran. Where is my, there it is. This is Financial Advice. Mark Tran? Folding ideas. Oh, no, sorry. You're Mark Tran. David Olson. And folding ideas. Okay. All right. Word. Oh, reminder before I forget. Walt the Man in the Middle, Prawesh Dungal, Kevin Rayonen, Mupulin. Mupulin. You guys need to get your codes. So send me a message on Reddit or whatever. DM me on Reddit and we'll get you your codes. MC Cheeks, how would someone go about getting in on it? Or getting in on it? If it's popping back on the OTC, you should be able to get the shares through a big brokerage. Won't be on the expert market anymore, so you should be able to just, put in an order, get some. I don't know what the price is going to do tomorrow. I don't know if there's going to be FOMO starting or if the shorts are really going to hammer it down, because they may as well go double or nothing if they're going to blink out of existence, right? May as well get a few more dollars you can send off to your shell company and then the Caymans, and then go play with your money there after, they take your house and your car and everything else. So that's how you get on it if you want to get on it. So yeah. Jose Rosario, I believe you mentioned by sheer quantity of shillers and extreme volume, you expect the minimum sell point to be around 1,000. Are there any other variables that can be considered to refine a lower sell point estimate? I mean, there are a lot of huge holders, people that have millions and millions of shares. I see them pop up in the subreddits, in this chat. I mean, they're the guy who had 4.8 million last Friday. It does not take much for them to be billionaires. 4.8 million shares. The price gets to $220 a share, you're a billionaire, right? I think you're okay. You may be like, well, Fortune 500 for me, sell. Cool. More power to you, man. You started out with way more cash than we did to be able to buy those shares, but, good for you. So we may see really, really big holders go, I'm out. Or, some of them may really want to stick to the man, sell enough at a crazy amount, and then just leave the other rest in the infinity pool. Once it comes time to sell, it is up to each individual seller as to how they're going to do it and what's good for them. It gets to tens of dollars. I've got a lot of good play money that'll last me a few years. It gets to the hundreds of dollars, I don't have to work again, right? If it gets into the thousands of dollars, that's quite good fuck you money. And if it gets into 5 figures and above, well, it's just gonna be like hot tubs full of supermodels and like paying Jeff Bezos to go fly into space for 3 minutes every couple of weeks. Like, that's the amount of cash that would be available is so insane that I can't even comprehend. What? And if they're dumb enough to open up the options chain again, and there's a way you can ride puts on the way back down on the other side, man, it's so much. I mean, let's say the price gets to $40. That's all it goes to. $40, you make $400,000, right? You buy puts at $40, probably cost you $200 each. How many? Let's play the calculator game, shall we? Our favorite game in the entire world. Okay, so you got $400,000. You want to buy puts. They're probably $200 each. So you get 2,000 puts. Okay. It goes from $40 down to, I don't know, bounces off $10. You get $3,000 per one of those. Cool. You just turned $400,000 into $6 million. if you let it ride, man. If it goes higher than that, that thing compounds and gets insane. You know, goes to $100. You have $1 million to play with that. You know, maybe you buy puts at $60 or $70 if they're available. The things will be going so wrong that you don't know what the trading computers are going to do. If they're going to start just automatically writing, you know, puts and calls for these things without a human being behind the computer. I mean, the guy behind the computer may jump out a window at some point, and there'll be no one to like put the brakes on and keep it from happening. So, like, it's it can be pretty weird. I think I don't know how humans are going to respond. I don't know how machines are going to respond. I don't know how the regulators are going to respond. Man, I still even know what's going to be in the S1 or how diabolical it's going to be. But I think, with my heart of hearts, I think it's going to be pretty diabolical. So, here we go. Yeah, so refining lower sell point. I might do a ladder strategy. I mean, I've got way more shares of this than I do of GME, so I can set a lower ladder, and I can, and rather than doing one share at a time, I can group them. I can do 10 shares at a time, 15 shares at a time. Maybe start at $1,000, sell 10 of them, put the next 10 in at $1,500, and just work my way up. A lot of folks talk about the strategy is don't sell on the way up, sell on the way back down. But you have to think about if this pops off and it's a MOASS situation, what's that graph going to look like, right? Is it going to be a nice bell curve? So you head on up and you go, no, and I'll sell on the way back down and I'll be fine. Or is it going to be trading computers at prime brokers, the DTC, brokerages, trying to buy whatever they can as fast as they can to get this over with? And if that's the case, you know, it could go whoa, 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 whoa. And the minute they buy the last share they need to buy, volume disappears. So if you're planning on selling the backside, there may be no pressure, because some day trader is not going to go out and buy a share for $30,000, right? Like they may short you one, but they're not going to sell one at that much. And so, you know, the buy pressure may disappear entirely. You may not have the chance to sell on the way back down. So that's why I'm doing a ladder strategy on the way up. Sell the first share at something that can allow me to retire, and then work my way up from there. And just collect more and get greedy with every 50% raise on my limit, and just go. And then if it gets to a point where I'm like, well, this is insane, I think it's done so much volume, it may be over with momentarily. Yeah, take the rest of them. I can turn my brain off for a while and go sit on the beach. I don't need to be a billionaire. I just need to like have a 4-wheel drive truck and a lot of air miles, and I'm gonna be pretty happy, right, dude? Yeah. She agrees. That's her I agree face / rolling eyes / side eye / you're such an adorable little dog. Yes, you are. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Okay. Whizkiz yo. Whizkiz yo. It says whiskeys. It probably was, but it sounds like Whizkiz yo. Houston, just wanted to let you know I've been trying to spread word about your last live stream and huge BBY news, but I got perma-banned on Superstock subreddit and shadow banned. Yeah, so Superstock has a rule you can't talk about stocks that are like under $1 or something like that, and so you get banned if you talk about it. Plus, it's like Superstock is now run by like a bunch of dudes from Citadel, and yeah, so heaven forbid you help people. Sorry, yeah, that happens. Blind Babble actually going to catch a live. You did, and you're here. And Whizkiz, yo. Comments on YouTube. Someone really doesn't want this getting out as much as possible, but I think it's already too late, especially as your last live stream already has like twice as many views. Man, a lot of you are so excited. It was 1 a.m. There's still 300 of you hanging out, and I don't know how many thousands have watched it later, but welcome aboard. Ooh. Yeah, here we are. A passing cloud. David Wright. Do you know how they'll announce trading is open again for Butterfly? I assume Fidelity will email me and the old BBBYQ investor email will still work, but is there a better way to be sure? I mean, when trading opens, open up your app, see if there's still a queue on that sucker, or if you can make an order. I guess that's how you do it. I have no idea what the Butterfly ticker will be. I'm sure when they release an S1, they may tell us. They may just keep the BBBY for now until they do a name change. I don't know if Butterfly is going to be the permanent name, because it does have a very temporary name to it, because like 2023 0930 DK Butterfly 1 does not quite roll off the tongue in a way that works for a consumer. So they may go by Butterfly. Someone was like, they should call it DKBT, so it's dick butt. That'd be a very Ryan Cohen thing to have dick butt trading on the stock exchange, or just BUTT, trading some butt around. I like it. I think they should. Yeah, why not? 654, how are shorts forced to close on BBYQ? That will probably be up to what the S1 says. But if the S1 is doing diabolical stuff like offering multiple ownership in different companies with their distribution, one of them being a crypto something, it's pretty much be like, you're going to have to close all these shares if you want them. If you lent out your shares, you're going to have to recall that. And otherwise, you're going to get your distribution. So that's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be something where they're going to like dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and make sure that they close every loophole that the shorts can hope to get around. Plus, there'll be FOMO. Don't forget that. The FOMO will be real. Like right now, the layperson has not heard about this. Just like January 10th, 2021, the random person on the internet had not yet thought of GameStop. And 2-3 days later, you had hundreds of thousands of people suddenly investing in GameStop, and the price started just flying. So if that happens here, and we start to get major FOMO happening on a stock that's 7 cents, it can go up in a hurry. And you do not have circuit breakers in the OTC. So it can fly from FOMO. Crazily fly. And if it gets to the point where folks who shorted it at 7, 8, 10, 9, whatever cents, they're going to be underwater, 20x, 50x, 100x, 400x, right? So they're going to be facing margin calls and liquidations at that point. They start to get margin called and liquidated, then they have to go in, then their broker goes to the market and starts buying shares, causing even more of a rise. And that might cause somebody who shorted at $6 all of a sudden to get liquidated. And then somebody shorted at $17 getting liquidated. And it's going to work its way up until everybody is getting absolutely just hammered and obliterated. And we're partying in Vegas and, being degenerates. That's my guess. That's how it's going to go. Allison Pringle. Going from Zillow to my calculator, back to Zillow, back to... The calculator game's a fun game, isn't it? It's a fun game. What if this happens, and then this is the next step I take, and then I do that? Yeah. So, I got my eye on a nice little piece of property, but we'll see if it gets that high. G Font, happy birthday, HW. Want to get Gardner on for show 400? I would love to, but I seriously doubt he would do it. So, good luck. If you guys can convince him, we'll do it. Brad B. Houston, do you think the government will step in if MOASS goes too high? When do you think the government might step in? That is something to think about. I mean, let's go back to the calculator game and talk about liability, right? So, calculator, there we are. All right. So there's 900 million shares. 901 million shares. Let's call 900. About half of that about half of that is us, right? So about 450 million be us. The other half will be insiders who can't sell. Okay. Let's say that we'll be generous and say that they oversold by like 200%. The short interest is 200%. So it'd be 1.35 billion shares. Being generous here, I think it's probably more than that. So 1.35 billion shares what they oversold, and the share price gets to, $2,000, right? That is a liability of 2.7 trillion. That's a lot. I mean, I would assume that there are steps along the way that when you liquidate these hedge funds, you're going to be getting trillions out of them. They'll cover a lot of that. Some of the brokerages the prime brokers may be like, shit, and having to jump in there and deal with their things. And then if the brokerages don't have enough money, well, you're going to have to, have the DTC step in with their insurance, which isn't insurance, just a pool of money that every month a member has to pay to. But then you got guys outside of the DTC like JP Morgan who are fucked in this situation because they probably have 50% of their hedge funds and family funds getting vaporized under their noses. And so they're their own prime broker. Fidelity is its own prime broker, its own clearinghouse. So there may be need like the Treasury and the Federal Reserve go, Christ. All right, guys, that $2 trillion you've been saving in your reverse repo, we're releasing it. Do your thing. Or they print money. They may do whatever. But it's somewhere along the line, they're going to have to either pay us and get it over with quickly, or the government steps in and does some sort of like mandatory negotiated settlement. I think they did a negotiated settlement correct me if I'm wrong, people are more familiar. If Iggy's in here, he might be more familiar with the Harlem Railroad squeeze. I think they did a negotiated settlement of like $1,000 a share. This is like in 1904 or something. They short squeezed this railroad, and it would have gone to kajillions of dollars, but the government was like, whoa, let's just chill. And they chilled. So it's, yeah. So, but $1,000 a share then is equivalent of like, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000 a share now. Inflation. Money's different, right? They're on the gold standard then. We're not on that now. Gold is $50 an ounce then. It's $2,000 an ounce now. So, not every share, not all those 1.35 billion shares will be selling for $2,000 a share or $10,000 a share or whatever. They'll be, it's a pyramid. Most of the shares will sell down here, and then fewer shares will sell here. And at the very tippy top will be the glorious achievers of achievement. That one weird guy, and I talked about this all the way back on the gist, that one weird guy who's like, fuck it, I want to put in a sell order at $1 bajillion for 1/2 of a share and see what happens. In the trading computer, because at that brief moment, nobody's entered an order. There's no one market selling. The computer goes, well, it's the only one available. Yoink. And that guy just bought a small country for a fraction of a share because the trading computer is just getting anything it can. It's like, I got to buy. I got to close. I got 1 day to close because the ex-div dates this date or whatever. So, the liability can be huge. And again, that will probably be its own distribution curve of, you got a few that were dumb and sold down here, most sold here, and very few sold out here. So it's a distribution curve that probably, hovers around that level of liability if this comes down to it. But man, and then you got to think about everything that's in the basket, right? So if this thing kicks off and forces a short squeeze or a bunch of degenerate animals like us are holding for prices that just seem stupid and inhuman, and like, what are you doing to my boy? They're getting liquidated for everything. They're going to have to close out every short position they had, which means they're going to have to close out, a short position they had on Washington Mutual from 2008, right? They're going to have to close everything. So they'll be closing the short positions on GameStop, on COS, on, Clover, on just name a meme stock. They probably have a short position on it, and, Ader on Spurt on, like, there's just so many of them, and everything might pop at the same time like it did in 2021. Now, will it turn off the buy button? They may kick FOMO, turn off the buy button, but that won't change the fact that there's this distribution happening, and the brokers need those. The brokers need those shares. The hedge funds need those shares. The market makers need those shares. So in this case, turn off the buy button. So what? I'm not buying anymore at $30,000 a share. You guys are buying them. So make me an offer I can't refuse, right? And that's so we are. Okay. Donkey in a China shop. House of Pringle, same here. Oh, looking at Zillow. Yeah. KYP Houston. I simply can't sleep. I'll be honest, Friday night, I drank that entire bottle of Martinelli's Blush. I sugar crashed like a toddler, and I slept like the dead. Probably the best thing I could have done for myself. Just out like a light, woke up next morning completely refreshed. So, that's always a possibility. Just blow up your pancreas, and you'll sleep real hard as a result. Yeah, Kyle Garibati, happy birthday, Houston. You going to sleep at all this week? I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out. I am normally not a morning person. Like if I care about a trade and I think something's going to happen, I'll put in a limit order the night before and I'll wake up to see if it went through. I'm usually not a morning person. I got a degree in astronomy for a reason. There's a reason why you see me doing shows at 10 o'clock or midnight my time and not 6 in the morning. I tried for a while. Like I'd see like Uncle Bruce would be streaming at 6 in the morning. Oh, I'll see what he's up to. And Uncle Bruce would just lull me back to sleep. I'm not a morning person. I've never have been. It's always been a complete struggle for me. But if I really have to buckle down and do it, I think I will. It's Liddy's here. Michael Harrow bought my Martinelli's to celebrate soon. Yes, I've got 2 more bottles downstairs for the next level of celebration. I think if S1 gets distributed, that'll be a level of celebration. And full-on MOASS will be a level of celebration. Then maybe end of MOASS will be a celebration. So maybe need to get 1 more bottle of Martinelli's. I think I've got 2 pomegranate apple ones down there. I like that blush. That blush one was tasty. Len Hernandez, happy birthday, Houston. No hand in this butterfly game, but hoping for the utter short destruction. Good luck. And butt rubs monkey butt. Oh, yes. There we go. Nunya Biz. Nunya D Biz. Howdy, Houston. Hello. Big Mac 8000. Houston. How big was the Hertz squeeze versus the potential for BBYQ? I'm not sure how to compare their potential. Any thoughts? Thanks for all your hard work. The Hertz squeeze was from 60 cents. I think it peaked around $40, $45 intraday. I think the high it closed at was 30 something. So it was good. The thing about the Hertz squeeze was shareholders had a very small part of the company anyway. When it came out of bankruptcy and its broker's entity, the shareholders only had like 3%. It wasn't a NOLs deal like this one. But that meant there was 97% insiders. So when the shorts had to close, there was only like this that they could get, like 3%. That was it. If this was at 3%, that'd be fucking ideal. But we have a lot more shareholders, though. We have way more shareholders, and we're way more militant than anyone was in the Hertz deal. We didn't even talk about the Hertz deal in 2021 on this show. Like, it was completely off my radar. So this is a similar situation coming out of bankruptcy, but there's probably 50 times the investors, and they're all pissed off and angry, and they want blood. So, like, the water has been chummed. The sharks are circling. We're going to eat it all up. Orion84. Do we know what the butterfly ticker will be? We do not. We might find out in S1. It may just stay BBYQ until they do another name change. I don't know. Zia Trade. There's more than 35 entities, 1 per state, BBY store location. I think there's 73, I think is what it is. Michael Aharo, will take ownership and then split off baby to Cohen, possibly. We will see. I know ICANN's used 6th Street in the past to do exactly this. And Ryan Cohen's listed as a creditor this entire bankruptcy. So, if he's behind it, as we'll think, woohoo. If he's not and it's someone else doing it, then okay. Cool. I don't care who the boss man is. I just want to get paid. Aaron Saltine, BBYQ is the MOASS trigger. Is this it, Houston? I think it's a better trigger than anything we've had in a while. Like, June 2021, I was like, oh, dude, AMC is going to kick this thing off. The options chain is going to explode on this Friday. MOASS. And then Adam Aaron sold 27 million shares to a short hedge fund and then flooded the market with them. And then, yeah, well, that killed that. Then I was like, MMTLP. This thing's got to get closed. The broker's like, this thing's got to get closed. Finner's like, we can't get this thing closed. Halt. And so, you know, sitting for 10 months waiting for a trigger. And I think we finally have a trigger. We'll see what way they fuck us. I mean, that's an entire possibility that, you know, the hand of the financial douche god comes down and just like smacks everybody and that's it. But we always, I mean, hope springs eternal. You gotta have something to look forward to, you know. If life slaps you down, okay, we'll just do it again. That's what else are you gonna do? Remember, the meaning of life is really simple. You got to consume calories, you got to shit those calories out, and you got to procreate. Those are the three things that means you're living. So all this other stuff in between, that's just killing time. So, you know, shit happens. Cool. Roll with it. Builds character. Come out of it the other side. Try again. You know, life is full of failures and miserable, you know, results and shitty things that happen. And you know what? As long as you're eating shit and fucking, you're good to go. So here we are. We're in it to win it. We're at 0 or hero. I think we are very far on the hero side right now. Augie, good to see you. So happy, Houston. I'm scared of getting hurt again by the regulatory corruption. Again, like, that's out of our hands. We've got what we got. We got our little egg, and we got to protect it best we can. But you know what? There's predators out there. And if that little shell hatches and the turtle makes its way to the ocean, high five. Way to go. We did it. But, you know, they could come out and the government goes, no. We're negotiating settlement, $1 a share. Fuck all of you. They could do that. I don't know. It would be very unpopular. And I think it would cause riots and create American terrorists or something. It wouldn't be smart for them. It'd be smarter to let the douche bros blow up and go, well, I guess we got to change some laws because shit is whack. Orion 8.4, the Shills are out big time. Such nasty people. Or bots. Yeah. There's probably some humans behind them. Probably a lot of GPT bots now. Especially they'll say the exact same thing over and over and over again. But man, do they clam up and tell them to like post face. Show us who you are. Post your real name. Well, I'm not going to do that. Okay, well then shut the fuck up. Crypto Port, what do you think about GNS pay date tomorrow? They're not T90 tomorrow, are they? I thought GNS T90 was when they do it. It was like August 15th or something. They got like another month and a half or so, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Red Sky, those that saw a loss are bitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. QIP, you seen your rare form tonight. I'm giddy, man. I'm chock full of H2O and I got no fucks to give. Aaron Salentine, so 6 days left till Univest approval for the buy-in to finger short squeeze and SEC approval. BBYQ short squeeze trigger into butterfly. 2 insane events about to go down. Hell yeah. All right. Oh, there's a reset of my chat. Sorry. Now I got to go back up and figure out where I was. Oh goodness, there's a lot of chats in here. I gotta go. Here we go. Okay, Jason Blackwell. I got called a shill on PP Show Reddit because I said RC looks like the Applebee's waiter I had the evening before. I think Ryan Cohen's like he's a petite fellow. He's a little guy. I bet I could like put him in my pocket. In reality, I would love to carry him around and show him off to people. Yeah. He looks like he'd be an excellent like Applebee's Red Robin waiter. He has that face, you know? He does have that face. And he's you know, like he'd sing that birthday song and be super happy about it. Orient 84, Houston. I did speak to a shill and PP show Reddit because I said RC. Oh, sorry, that's I did speak to a Fidelity rep today. He said that there was still volume on that ticker. That's the stuff. That's it's the weekend. Stuff's still getting borrowed. You know, people need to cover. Jiggish. Houston, what do you think about graphite mining in North America? I'm looking into Nouveau Monde Graphite Incorporated. I don't know enough about graphite mining at all. I mean, we need carbon. We need lots of carbon. Graphene is going to be one of those things of the future. Buckyballs, carbon nanotubes. We're going to be using it for all sorts of crazy things. Jiggish, I'll have to look them up. Nouveau Monde Graphite. Nouveau Monde Graphite, invest in battery metals. So it's a sourcing green battery material to power the high energy revolution. Okay, Nouveau Monde Graphite. Bam. Chrome is not turned on. That would help if I turned it on. Boom. Why invest in Nouveau Monde Graphite? Crafts a green, forward-looking business model that capitalizes on the revolution in electric vehicles, renewable energy storage, and consumer electronics. We're positioned to serve tomorrow's commercial landscape. Using natural graphite, we produce active anode material for lithium-ion batteries in a fully integrated, carbon-neutral way. Environment and communities involved. With an enviable ESG profile, NMG is poised to become the largest fully integrated producer of natural graphite in North America. The local alternative to Chinese production. Sounds cool to me. We'll need it. And we need anodes for those batteries, but we also need carbon to do graphene. So some projections there. I have no idea where their mines are. Operations. 6.7 million tons. Oh, down here. Matawini mine. Where are you? Big old pit right there. It's pretty cool looking. Looks computer generated though. Construction has started. Oh, they haven't started the mine yet. Where are you? Nothing project demonstrate. Oh, okay, Quebec. All right, hence the French. So they're in Quebec, and they have another mine, another project. Core batteries. Economic highlights. Operations. So it looks like they got one mine that they started. Oh, it's probable reserve. Oh, they haven't started yet. Okay, so they're still raising funds to get in there. We'll need it. We'll need it. So carbon is going to be a material of the future for batteries. The solid-state batteries, lithium-ion batteries. Well, the lithium-ion batteries are probably going to get replaced by solid-state because, well, they're better. Yeah. So, cool. I don't know. Might be a long-term thing. Look into them more as to, you know, how much money they actually have. Are they going to be able to actually make the open pit and get that stuff? That'll be important to look at. Alex Park, no, I have to work tomorrow. Why'd you go live? Also, hello from Vancouver. Hopefully after MOASS, I can buy a condo here. Yeah. Needs a lot of that in Vancouver. Slayer J, I have to work tomorrow. Not sure if I'm going to get any sleep tonight. Fucking anxious. I mean, I keep checking the yield. I've got it up here on my feed. Refresh. And view filings. And nothing new has happened. So, Edgar, nothing new on there. This won't be a long show tonight. We're already an hour in, and we'll go for a little while longer, and then there'll be a regular show tomorrow. If I miss questions, we'll talk about them tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be some document. I'm fairly confident there'll be some document filed by the time I start a show tomorrow that we're going to go. Yeah. Okay. Orient A4, He told me I had to do a limit order since it wouldn't let me do a market order. I don't like doing market orders anyway. Yeah, limit orders are fine. I have no idea what kind of FOMO will happen or if they're going to short down. If they short down further because they're just that stupid, you know, you can buy 10,000 shares for $100 if it goes to a penny. I will gobble up. I'll use every freaking thing I can get and gobble up as many shares as possible. Okay. Our friend is here. You got 19,000 shares. I will get over 30K for them. Get it. Dean's Perk. What's stopping them from just replacing our share just like they did with GME and share dividend? Depends on how the distribution is worded. They may send it to AST. AST may only send them a little bit. And, you know, if there's a digital one involved, that may make for weird things. Hey, fat cat. Get in here. Come on. Hey. Come on. Oh, you're so heavy. You're just the fattest thing in the world. You weigh as much as Monkey Butt. You're like half the size. Yeah. He's here. He's rocking. He's rolling. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to go in my roommate's room. Yes, he does. Yes. That's all right, buddy. You can hang out here. Ketel karaoke. Checking. All right. Justin G, if it's under the OTC, that means no halts. No circuit breaker halts. Someone could step in and just mess us up anyway, but there won't be automatic halts due to share price rise. Yeah, so look at that tail go. Oh, it's wiggling. He's out of here. Michael Harrell. There's a guy named Phil Anders' son who shorted MMTLP and got put in limbo like the rest of us, and he also admitted that the money he got from MMTLP he used to short baby. Whew. That guy may be in all sorts of levels of hell after this. I mean, if you short a baby and you close at 7 cents, you're probably good. If you are short and you're expecting this thing to go down, it's not. BBBYQ bag holder. I expect a corporate halt by FINRA for a while, maybe days or weeks or so. Might not work if there's an SEC approved S1 with an effective date. So if there's effective dates approved by SEC, they might not be able to halt this one. Especially if it's something that's like, I want to go back to the NASDAQ and now I want to remove all my shares from the market as they did with MMTLP. So I don't think FINRA wants to step in it again. They've had a hard enough time with 61,000 shareholders with MMTLP. I don't think that anyone will survive at that job. They all quit at FINRA if there's a million Bed Bath & Beyond people who are like, I want to talk to your manager. So, plus there's whales in this one that are big whales, billionaire whales. And, Hudson Bay is in this, Sixth Street's in this. There's some big players involved. So I don't think you want to piss those guys off necessarily. Jiminius Houston, if the shares are trade out, when do you guesstimate they could show up in our accounts? You got me. I think it all depends on what the S1 would say. Now, it does take time to approve an S1. So you're kind of filing this thing, you're asking for permission from the SEC to do this one thing. So if it's super complicated, it may take weeks for them to do something about it. If it's a simple distribution, maybe they just like, we're just renaming shares and everyone's going to get in their account and it's over. And the SEC goes like this. I could go quicker. I don't know. If it's something that needs to take days or weeks to get approved, we may just be sitting back and waiting for another December thing to happen. So we may just be like twiddling thumbs even longer. So, make sure your thumbs are in twiddling strength mode. And Like it could explode this week if there's something squirrely that happens. They want to get back on NASDAQ in 2 weeks or something. Or it could be drawn out if they need more explanation from their S1 for SEC to give them the thumbs up. Belgian whale, not to burst your bubble, but it's windy morning. Sunday morning. I got Sunday night. Sunday morning for you? It should be Monday morning for you. Andrew Dowell, morning Houston from UK. I was able to buy BBBYQ. I was unable to buy BBBYQ on any OTC, but I'm happy for all of you. Hopefully this kills the hedgies. You may get the opportunity to if it's back on the OTC again. So we'll see. David Rutger, do you think we'll see a broker share count from MTLP? The way members of Congress and the Senate have been peppering Gary Gensler, and he's been like avoiding answering them on things. He's been in front of Congress 3 times and asked 3 times specifically about this. And he's like, I don't know much about it. But they're going to be like, well, learn something about it, ding dong. So I don't know if he can do a 4th time and be like, I don't know. He's been asked several times to provide a share count, and he hasn't yet. So he better soon. They're the SEC. They should be able to look into that stuff whenever, wherever they want, and know what's happening. Yeah. GV8 Frog, why the shills care so much about our investment? Lol, because they're about to get eviscerated. Yes. Bale Svans with Butterfly trade tomorrow? Maybe. Latinum. I have $1,000 to spend on stock formerly known as BBYQ. I'm thinking of buying call options for the new ticker symbol. Any thoughts? There is no ticker symbol yet for it. So if you go to the other butterfly, that's a different company. There's no ticker symbol for it yet. So I don't know if options will be back on the market or not. If they lose the queue and they're trading tomorrow, you may have access to the options that exist. So, buy a few hundred options. For $1,000, you could probably buy options for January. Probably get 1,000 options for January. They're like a high price, $30, $40, somewhere around there. But for $1 each, you get 1,000 of them. Seems like a pretty worthy gamble to me. So I'll see if the options chain is back. See what I can get. My apples ripe to YOLO. Houston, you're a beauty. I always liked your streams, but after the last one, I felt so great. I've been walking around grinning yesterday and today, just knowing it's only a matter of time. BBYQ. Gotta be cool as a cucumber, man. LZEC 1029. What happens to the old call options we bought? If the shares get replaced, I would assume that those call options still exist, just with the new shares in them. But don't hold me to that. It's happened when there's been mergers and stuff before, that the call options just changed around depending on how the share distribution went. Like if it was a 10-to-1, you would all of a sudden, instead of having 100 shares in your contract, you got 10. Things like that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm no expert in that field as to what happens to options after there's a merger. Crazy Coast Houston, my tits are jacked for BBYQ, but after meme stocks have burned me a buttload of money holding, is there any way they can hold this down? I'm sure they'll try, but if it gets to the point where they're facing liquidation, then it's out of their hands. They can't do anything about it anymore. Remember, power only lasts while you can pay for that power. If you can't pay for that power anymore, then they're not going to do your bidding. They're not your friends. There are a bunch of other sociopaths running, agencies and crap. So they're if you can't pay them, they're out. So that's why we wait. Denez 2635, how much the butterfly share is worth? However much you can get for them, I guess. Right now, 7 cents, as it is in Fidelity, but I have no idea what's going to happen when pre-market opens up. Well, good morning. I hope this destroys your headphones and causes a ripple effect across a number of heavily shorted stocks. Ditto, man. Ditto. Oop, Shills showed up and someone took care of him. Awesome. Bill Svans, what if you own 1,000 shares? Then is that a little? I mean, if you sell for 1,000 shares for $1,000, got $1 million, right? So that's nothing to shake at. Got for $500 or whatever, he's made $1 million. Pretty good return. Pretty good return. So things are gonna get squirrely, and I love it. Son of Pulte, if RC and ICANN are involved, they don't sell. Infinity Pool is real. Yes. Shaquille O'Neal. Well, these guys come in here and like, I've been trading a long time. I know it's real. And hey, little kitten. Meow, meow, meow. Oh, one sec. Little kitten. Oh, don't run away. I got you. Can't leave that chair in there too long. Yeah. Kid is playing hard to get, but you know what? We got ourselves a kitten. We got ourselves a little squiggly kitten. Yeah. Oh. Rosario, can you call my friend Liro Miro a scrub? Liro Miro, you're a scrub. Take it from me. Oh, little buddy. You little dude. You're just a little perm machine. We want to go investigate? What do you want to do? What do you want to do, kitten? She's getting so big. She's huge now. That's right. Put your little stamp right on my mouse. Thank you. There we go. Butthole. Orion N4, I found a shill that had posted on BBY sub and had been harassing people on MMTLP sub for a long time. Straight up proof that they are scared. Yeah. It's all they just short things and they want to like trash stuff and manipulate. And I think the SEC should start cracking down on those dudes. Right? Right, little kid. Ooh, you can't stand on the keyboard. Stand on the keyboard, you accidentally like turn off the podcast, so we can't do that. But yes, they get a little cattail karaoke. Cattail karaoke. What's up, buddy? You wanna go up here? Wanna go up here? There we go. Yeah, that's a good spot, right? Yeah, that's a good spot right there. Okay, that's comfortable. That's actually really nice and warm on the neck. Nice little soft belly. Do this all day long. Okay. The kitten distracts me and then my brain turns off. Get forward Houston trading closed with me sitting on 108,000 shares at 21 cents. Rolled the dice on BBYQ, turning into a SPAC. Got more than me. Way to go, Get Forged. Okay, did that. After that question, that was kind of repeat. What do you want? What are you doing? Oh, you going that way? You better get out of here, else I'm going to be too distracted. Oh, hey, fat cat. You jealous? The kitten's in here? Okay. Having conversations there. Get past those. We'll do a couple more, and then that'll be it for our short little evening. And we'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Whiskizio. My name's edited from Whiskers, a nickname my mates gave me back in the day because of my facial hair, using a gamer tag, but proper spelling is usually taken. So it just sounds like a drunken slur. This is yo. Walt the man in the middle, Houston. I need your email to request my Blue Sky code. I don't have Reddit. Sometimes remember to check the Houston Wade at HoustonWade.com. I get terrible. Oftentimes I don't get the notices that I get an email in there though, so I don't check it. But Houston Wade at HoustonWade.com. Sometimes I see it. So do that, Walt. We'll try to get you a code. My apple's ripe, YOLO. Say one ticker name suggested today, but FQ. That's like one of those license plates they won't let you have. Martin Weiss, good morning from Norway. Up in Norway right now. Saw some northern lights yesterday. Looking forward to market open. Oh, I'm jelly. I was in Norway this time of year 13 years ago. No northern lights. It was cloudy the entire time. Nothing. Man. No, JS, no. Quick question, Houston, and this troubles me. By sitting in that chair for so long, do your balls start flopping off the edge? They're resting in a giant basket on the floor right now. Hunter Flyden, what makes you so sure we won? I have zero faith that they don't pull some BS. I mean, they'll definitely pull some BS. That's for sure. It's just that, did they think of all the possible ways they could pull some? It seems to me that this is a plan that's been 3 years in the making by those who are behind it. And I think that they probably had a lot of very smart people game theory this thing out of every possible outcome. And we're like, I think we got it, boys. It's like a heist film. It'll be really interesting to see, like, the movie, how this gets pulled off. What went on in the back rooms? What was the planning? Who was behind it all? Where's it go from here? Michael O'Hara, would it be a good idea to set up several FDIC accounts to make sure our attendees are insured? Yeah. If you're at a big bank that has private brokerage, talk to them about private banking, see if they can set that up for you. I'm sure they can. But my plan is I won't have too much in cash. I don't plan on having a boatload in cash. I will probably just reinvest and let that sucker sit and then make it so I can draw with annuities off a fancy metal card that the brokerage gives me. Paul 7th HKD went over $2,000. It did. There's only 14 million shares of that company. So it wasn't as giant as having, 450 million shares plus that you're going to be liable on. Yeah. Stuart Longley, was Friday the record date for the butterfly shares? We have not seen a date record for him yet. Rua T. If this causes multiple squeezes in the basket because those hedge funds need to close their other positions to fill BBYQ, would this cause stagflation, making too many people rich? Well, to think about, like, if the hedge funds are getting vaporized while we're getting rich people are getting poor, right? Because their entire wealth is disappearing. Their family funds are vaporizing. Their hedge funds that they invested in are vaporizing. They're losing all their money, and we're getting it. So it's transfer of wealth. Like, their homes go up for auction, we buy them, move in. They go work at Starbucks and are misspelling people's names on their cups. So we're just trading places. That's all it is. We're just, they're going from their neighborhood to our neighborhood, and we're going from our neighborhood to their neighborhood, and we're good to go. So there'll be a lot of upheaval on that Forbes 500 list, right? So just think of it that way. Okay. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then I think I'm done for the night. We'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, who we got? What's a good one here? Jose Rosario, what brokerage would you trust with your winnings? I'm in Fidelity with all of this. I've got accounts though with Schwab as well. I don't trust Schwab. I think Schwab. I think for the most part, Fidelity is probably fine. I have a Vanguard account that I use just for like, my monthly amount I throw at my retirement. Yeah, I mean, if you're one of the bigger brokerages, if they get into trouble, someone else will gobble them up and all of your holdings will just move over to them. And it'll probably be okay. If you're in like Moomoo and Moomoo only, they're based out of Singapore. It seems like they're doing nothing but selling naked shares, and they might be the ones selling those naked shares. I have no idea. So things could get weird with small little brokerage apps like that. Same thing with like Robinhood, Webull, the guys that all are Apex only, and things might get weird with those guys. Okay, I said I was gonna do one more, but that was a super chat, so we'll try to get one more in here. Wayne Christensen, if I was someone who makes $1 billion at BBYQ, I would buy $1 billion AMC, become the majority shareholder, and make things a little better there. Boom. There you go. There's your answer. Forge your own future at that point, right? Me, personally, if I get that much money, I am making the Honey Pot Holdings Company, and we're going to mess with them all over again. Okay. All right, everybody. Short little Sunday show. Wearing my civvies. We'll see you guys tomorrow, about an hour after market close. And then I'll be on PP show that night. I guess I'll still be going. Those guys probably are like just snorting meth like crazy and never going to sleep over there. So I'll see you guys at 9 p.m. Pacific on the PP show thereabouts. Depends on when I get home from work. I don't know. We'll see. All right. All right, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Click on one of you. Boink.